to cut your silk, you want to measure it and make a little cut. And then rip it. You can trim off these little fibers. This way you're going to stay exactly on grain and your pieces will be perfectly square. I'm going to just do my other cut here. And then I rip it. Great. Flatten them out. Here's my 2 pieces of the face mask ready for the next step. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to iron in the little, I'm going to make the little nose part. So I'm just folding them in half and giving them a nice iron so you have a firm crease in the middle of your piece. We'll do it to this one. First I'll make it nice and flat. I'm going to put it right in half. Okay, there's a little crease then, and we're going to go sew these. I'm just sewing in the darts for the nose and the chin. It's pretty easy to do that. You just want to go at an angle, starting at about 1/2 inch in from the center fold, and go until you're about 1.5 inches down on the center. And this just creates a nice little pocket for your nose or your chin. All right, you can see how I just did that on both sides so that when I open it up, you have darts. Okay. Okay, we have put in our 2 darts on both of the pieces. Now we're going to give them an iron just to make them a little bit flatter. You can see that when you hold the piece up, now it's sort of shaped. It's got like a cup shape. That's the point of the darts. It's to make comfortable room for your nose and for your chin. There, they're both ironed, and now is the time where you need to put right sides together. That means the finished side is going to go up, and then I'm going to put the other one opposite so the finished side is on the inside. So I'm going to lay these together and square up the edges and then pin them together, because I'm going to be making this into basically a little pillowcase. And so I just pin it where the nose seams are. I made one for the chin as well. You just pin it all around. Then we're going to sew it. Okay, so now you can see that the 2 pieces have been pinned together, and what I'm going to do now is sew it 1/4 inch from the top edge along the top, and I'm going to sew it down here, and then we're going to turn it inside out and finish the sides. Okay, let's go sew. So the pins come out as soon as I have the fabric in place. And you can see that I'm just doing a basic stitch. And then I'm going to carefully take my pin out because everything is staying together nicely. Top half is done. Let's do the second half. That's it for sewing for the two hats. Now what we're going to do is cut off the extra threads, just like that. And we are going to turn them inside out and sew it flat. So your mask is really taking shape now. Let's go iron it and then sew it. Looks funny now, but it'll look better soon. All right, we've got it turned inside out. Now we need to flatten out those seams so it's easier to sew the edges. You can actually pull kind of hard on that top sewn edge. You can see it's turned inside out, so it's all smooth against your skin and outward facing. And we're just gonna flatten this a little bit. It's not gonna be perfect because it's a shaped piece now. And just pull that seam out a little bit. Get in there and make it look a little bit nicer. There we go. Great. So basically what we have here is a flattened tube that has a spot for your nose and your chin. So what we're going to do now is do a zigzag stitch to close up the ends on both sides. We are then going to fold them over to create the casing for your ear loops, and you're almost done. Now it's time for a zigzag stitch, which is a super wide stitch, and it's just going to basically close the ends of the fabric together. One edge is closed. You can see it's all closed up now, and we'll do the other end. Zigzag stitch. Now let's go give these an iron to create a little pocket for your ear elastic. All right, you can see that we now have a nice shaped flat mask. All we have to do is to create a little pocket for your ear elastic. And to do that, you're going to turn this over until it's about 1/4 to 1/3, no, just under 1/2 inch. Let's say that. And I'm not going to pin it. I'm just going to be careful, and I want to iron it so that it's easy for me to sew it. There, you can see it's got a nice crease, and I'll do the other side as well. Yeah, let's go with just under 1/2 inch. That's about right. And make sure that they're both facing the same direction so that your outward facing mask is really smooth. Oops, I caught a corner there. Let's redo it. There you go. You can see that it's loose, but it's got a nice crease. Now we're going to go sew that shut. We're back to a regular stitch, and I want to guide my needle exactly along the inner line of that zigzag stitch. So I went forward a little bit, then backwards. That's to lock the stitch. And be very careful. If you feel like it, you could pin this in place, but I don't think you'll need to. Now, done there. And that creates a casing for your elastic to go through. Basically, it's a little tube. We're going to sew the other side now. And I'm just holding it. Done. Now we're just going to guide some elastic through these narrow tubes using a safety pin. And you can see here that I'm just finishing putting the elastic cording through, and here it comes. There. What you want to end up with is about 3 inches of excess coming out. You just cut it off, remove the safety pin, and your mask is basically done. I'm going to create a very loose knot here just to keep that cording in place. And then when you're ready to try it on, put it over your face. Make sure that these are the right tightness for you. Then you're going to want to tighten up that knot until it's really small and clip off the excess, and your mask is done.